as we know, I'm becoming like a broken record how I start all of my segments. 2020 has been a challenging year, to say the least. For me, music has been an absolute lifesaver. I turn it on constantly, and it really helps me in times when I'm definitely feeling down or I need a little pick-me-up. So joining us today is Shannon Cook with Spotify to share top songs, artists, and trends of 2020. Good morning to you, Shannon.
Good morning, and I'm happy to hear that music provided a source of comfort for you this year. I think a lot of our listeners on Spotify found the same.
Absolutely. So who were the top artists streamed this year?
Well, our most streamed artist around the world is the Latin trap reggaeton artist Bad Bunny. He's from Puerto Rico. He's had sort of a breakout couple of years on the music scene, and he actually released 3 albums this year. The pandemic did not slow this artist down. His music streamed more than 8 billion times on Spotify in 2020 alone. Our second most streamed artist is the rapper Drake. He's no stranger to our top list on Spotify. And the third most streamed artist, another Latin artist, J Balvin. If we focus on the ladies for a minute, which we absolutely should, we saw that Billie Eilish was our most streamed female artist of the year. She was also our most streamed female artist last year. She didn't release an album this year, but her debut album is so popular, it seemed to help carry her through 2020. Taylor Swift released an album this year, which she recorded in quarantine, and she was our second most streamed artist of the year. And then coming in third is Ariana Grande. She also released some new tunes this year, and she is just a perennial favorite on Spotify. Our listeners absolutely love her.
Absolutely. So did the top song streamed this year come from those same top artists?
Good question, and no, actually. The most streamed song globally of the year actually comes from the artist known as The Weeknd, and the song is Blinding Lights. This is a song that came out in 2019, but it was consistently one of the top songs on Spotify throughout 2020. It's streamed about 1.6 billion times this year alone. Our second most streamed song of the year is an interesting one. It's Dance Monkey. This is a song from an Australian artist who goes by the name Tones and I, and this sort of enjoyed some breakout success in 2019, but then momentum was on its side, and it carried it through 2020, and it became this global phenomenon. Interestingly, this is also our most streamed song for children. On Spotify, we have a kids app, and in the US, on Spotify Kids, Dance Monkey was the most streamed song for kids. I think probably a lot of parents were relying on the Spotify Kids app to help entertain their kids during the pandemic.
Oh, that's so great. Music is just comforting for everyone, and I love it that families can actually do that together. I haven't heard that, so I'm taking notes as I'm talking to you because I'm looking forward to going home and streaming these particular songs and artists that you're talking about. But in terms of trends during COVID, are you finding that, did they find that people are actually listening more, less? Are there different listening styles during COVID?
Well, we noticed a few really interesting trends throughout the year, and one that I think I found particularly interesting was there was this sort of gravitation towards nostalgic listening, and this happened especially early on in lockdown in the US. We saw that people were listening to more music from the 80s, from the 70s, from the 60s, even the 50s. It seemed like people were seeking comfort in familiar tunes during such an uncertain and honestly, as we know, very scary time. We also saw our listeners use a lot of humor when it came to creating their own playlists, and they soundtracked all these sort of social media moments and trends like banana bread. Remember when everyone was making banana bread in quarantine? We saw people make banana bread themed playlists. Same with tie-dyeing, and same with when it came to hair maintenance, as people were grappling with having to dye their own hair or cut their own hair for the first time. They were creating hair maintenance themed playlists with songs like Avril Lavigne's Complicated on it, or Panic at the Disco's song High Hopes. So some really interesting and quirky trends popped up throughout the year.
I love it. Those are some creative themes, like a thematic unit that you're creating, cutting my hair, music to go with it. Really, really great. Thank you so much for these great tips today on what Spotify, the trends that they found during 2020. And thanks for sharing. Where can our viewers go for more information?
Well, if you're a Spotify listener, check out your mobile app so that you can see what songs and artists and podcasts you listen to the most in 2020. If not, check out spotify.com/wrapped, and there you'll find a lot of the top lists that we've already touched on here.
Shannon Cook, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.